The NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race officially concluded from Texas Motor Speedway, and we see a lot of crashes, pretty bad officiating throughout the whole entire event, and Corey Heim wins a pretty controversial ending to a Truck Series race at Texas Motor Speedway. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. I just got done watching NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race in Texas Motor Speedway, the SpeedyCash.com 250. We got quite a bit to talk about from this race. Let's go and talk about it. So, I'm really not going to try to sugarcoat this. This race, to me, was probably the worst truck race so far of the 2025 season, and there's not a lot of positive that you can really take from this race, in my opinion. The only big positive is the fact that the best truck of the night and the best truck all season was able to go to victory lane, and that is Corey Heim. Corey Heim, without question, had the best truck in this field. He was a dominant truck. He led more than half the race. I think he led around 100 laps in this race, and he definitely deserved the win, in my opinion. He had the best truck all night. Before that caution came out for Frankie Muniz at around 20 laps ago in the event, he was out by almost 18 seconds and should have easily been able to scoot to victory lane. There's no reason, because of all the chaos that happened at the end, there's no reason anybody should have been truly challenging him for the win in this race. So, good for Corey Heim to pick up the win. So, first, let's go ahead and take a look at the race results from the Truck Series race and talk about a lot of the chaos from the event. So, Corey Heim picks up the win. Dale Hemrick finishes second. Solid night for Dale Hemrick. He got caught up in some incidents, I'm pretty sure, throughout the night and still recovered to get himself a top 5 finish. Started on the front row and finishes in second. Great night for Hemrick to get a runner-up finish. His team is building a lot of momentum. Good night for Daniel Hemrick. Raj Crew finished third. He had a chance to get this win. The first time we've really seen Raja be a factor to win this season. He got back on the lead lap because he took the wave run at the end. But Raja tonight had a really good performance. Gets self third place finish. Maybe should have won the race, in all honesty, with the controversy at the end. He finishes third. Fantastic night for Raja. It's been an up and down year. Good night for Raja in third. Tyler Ankrum finishes fourth. A quiet, solid top 5 run for Ankrum. He's been having a really good season. I think he's been really putting himself in the championship contention position, having a really good season so far. He finished fourth. Great night for Tyler Ankrum. Tanner Gray finished fifth. How about that? Finishing inside the top 5. Fantastic ending. He's really struggled with the points in this race. It's been an up and down season, but a good night for Gray. He finishes fifth. Ben Rose finished 6th, was on second on the final restart, but lost a ton of track position going up the racetrack at the end. Comes home with a top 10. He's been having a better year this year compared to last year. Solid night for him. He finishes in 6th. Matt Crafton finishes 7th. I think this is his first or second top 10 of the year, so solid night for Crafton to get a top 10 finish in 7th. Great night for him. Bailey Curry finished 8th. Pretty good night for Bailey Curry. Ran top 10, top 15 in points. Got damage on one point in the race. Fox really never mentioned it on their broadcast tonight, but gets a solid top 10 finish in 8th. Good run for him. Dawson Sutton comes home 9th. First top 10 of the year. Great run for Dawson Sutton. Kind of quietly stuck up there at the end. Was never really a factor in this race, but quietly put together a solid run with the crash fest that happened. He finished 9th. And Ty Majeski finished 10th. Struggled in the middle portion of this race. Looked good early, but got some damage after some contact with Lane Riggs. Just overall, a decent ending to what wasn't the best race for him. He finished 10th. Jack Wood finished 11th. Decent night for him. Seven Parsons finishes 12th. Nick Sanchez, who I thought would be a major factor tonight, he almost spun out at one point in this race. He finished 13th. Nathan Burr with the top 15 and 14th. Spencer Boyd finished 15th. Chandler Smith, who got caught up in one of the big crashes that would lead to a red flag, he finishes 16th. Carson Osabar finishes 17th. I think he had the best truck outside of Corey Heim in this race, but he had battery issues early in the event. He's really the only one that could at any point keep up with Corey Heim in this race. He finished 17th. Josh Reardon finishes 18th. Cody Dennison, a.k.a. Camelot, gets his first top 20 finish in trucks in 19th. And Matt Mills finished 20th after getting caught up in a wreck at the end. Jake Garcia finished 21st after getting caught up in one of the big crashes at the end after getting into an incident, I believe, at the end with Connor Mosack. Connor Mosack, speaking of which, finishes 22nd. Grant Infinger got caught up in one of the big wrecks. He finished 23rd. Stuart Friesen finished 24th. Frankie Muniz finishes 25th. Tony Breidinger, who got into an incident on pit road with Carson Hocevar, she finished 26th. Luke Fenhaus, who had a battery issue, finished 27th. Lane Riggs, who had one of the strongest trucks early in the race, he fell out of the race early after basically digging the splitter in the grass early in the event. He finished 28th. Andres Perez finished 29th. Brandon Jones finished 30th. Gio Ruggiero finished 31st. And Katie Honeycutt finished last in 32nd. Let's first talk about the first big incident. On lap 20 of the event, or basically near the end of stage number 1, they were all battling up front. Gio Roger had already gotten into the grass earlier in the event. He goes down, clips the grass, comes back across the racetrack, clips Caden Honeycutt, and Brandon Jones and Stuart Friesen, and ended up getting collected in that wreck. That's the first big wreck of the night. He basically hit that outside wall really hard. The truck went off the ground a little bit. Thank God Gio was okay. Just a pretty bad move on Gio's part, and not the best look for him so far this year. And then we get to the middle portion of this race, and you start having wreck after wreck after wreck after wreck. There were so many crashes in the middle portion of this race. I'm looking at stage number 2. There were 5 or 6 yellows in the second stage. Tonight, 11 cautions, one of the most caution-filled races we have ever seen. Coming to this race, we had a streak of 21 straight races without an overtime finish. We stopped that streak tonight because we had not only 1, but 2 overtime finishes. And it's not just that this race was a complete wreck fest that made this race really, really bad. It was the officiating. Oh my goodness, the officiating tonight was really, really bad, especially at the end of the race. Let's begin what happened in the second to third last big crash. So, a big wreck happens on one of the late race restarts with around 10 laps to go. Stuart Friesen gets loose going into turn number 3. He goes up the racetrack. I believe he gets into Grant Enfinger. They both hit the outside wall very, very hard. And Chandler Smith gets collected in the outside. All 3 of their nights are pretty much over. Chandler's able to continue, but the other 2's nights are pretty much over because of the damage. So, they go ahead and red flag it because there's damage on the wall. But for some weird and strange reason, NASCAR decides after like 10 minutes, let's go ahead and refire the engines. Despite the fact that the wall is clearly not ready, they're still going to need some time to get that wall done. And it feels like to me they weren't even finished with the wall. It seemed like there was like a piece of cardboard on the outside of the wall. I just don't understand why we decided to go ahead and bring the yellow flag back out while they're still working on the outside wall. I cannot fathom, I cannot understand that. That is bogus, and that is completely stupid in my opinion. That is one of the dumbest things I've seen so far this year. I cannot actually believe that they decided to go ahead and lift the red flag for whatever reason they decided to do it and go back to caution. They should not have gone ahead and brought the caution out. They wasted 3 or 4 laps. And then we get to the officiating call. So let's get to the second to last restart. Corey Heim actually gets a decent restart, but Ben Rose also gets a pretty good one as well. They go down the back straightaway. They're battling really, really hard going down the back. Roger gets a big run to the inside, but they throw the caution like 10 or 15 seconds after Matt Mills had damage go onto the racetrack. He had clipped the grass. Fox never mentioned that on the broadcast, by the way. And trust me, we're going to talk about them here in just a few minutes. I got a lot to get off my chest with Fox's coverage tonight. But Matt Mills clips the grass, which is something we've been seeing throughout the event. They're 3 wide coming across. Now, they don't go by the tape. They go by the previous scoring loops. So I guess Corey Heim was the leader, but when you look at the tape, Raj Kruf is in front of Corey Heim. I don't understand how you don't look at that photo and say, yeah, Raj Kruf isn't the leader of this race. They not only move Raja back to second, they move him back to third. How is Raja not at least in second position here? Why was he back in third? I cannot actually believe that we have the technology, we have photos we can use. You're telling me we go back to prior scoring loops, and we don't even know exactly which scoring loop they went back to. Can we get an explanation on that, please? Because I just cannot fathom why the hell they moved him back to third when he probably honestly should have been in second place or even leading the race. I feel like Raja honestly got robbed of this race. I'm glad the best truck won the race, but Raja got robbed of probably being up there getting the win. At least he got a top 5, which is good, but I cannot believe that Raja wasn't up there. It does not make sense to me. If we're going to be using these timing loops, use the correct timing loop. Tell us which timing loop you use. Don't use dumber loops, please. Let's just, come on, NASCAR, get it together. You've had so many officiating blunders. There's so much broken with this sport right now. I cannot believe that the officiating was as bad as it is. And on top of that, let's talk about the racing product. Good Lord Almighty, the racing product tonight was not very good. The first half of the race was just a complete crash fest. There were some good moments for sure. Decent racing, guys making moves that were very aggressive and guys were going for. But you cannot basically overshadow the fact that this race was a crapshoot. It was a complete mess. Guys are wrecking each other. Guys are making over-aggressive moves that, in my opinion, were not necessary at the time. And it just led to too many crashes. I don't think this was on the same level as Martinsville in the Xfinity Series. That race was a complete disaster, but it's definitely kind of close to that. And I think for me, this was the worst truck race so far of 2025. And because of that, my score of tonight's Truck Series race is overall going to be probably about a 4. And I'm being generous in all honesty. I'm not a big fan of Texas Motor Speedway. This track does not lend to good racing in all honesty. I've said it for a long time. I get that a lot of people like the Cup Series race, and the Cup Series has done a decent job at the track, which is saying a lot about how NASCAR in the Cup Series is right now. But I just don't like this track. I've never been a fan of Texas Motor Speedway, and I think the race tonight generally was not very good. The racing product wasn't great, and I think there were a lot of major issues that really need to be worked on. And now before I go, let's talk about Fox Sports. Good God Almighty, Fox Sports tonight, like always, was really, really bad. Jamie Little, I love her as a pit reporter. I said it time and time again. She may be the best pit reporter we have in NASCAR currently at the moment. She is so good on pit road. I don't understand why they keep putting her in the booth. It is nonsensical to me that Jamie Little continues to be in the Fox Sports booth. It is nonsense to me that she's not doing pit road for the Cup Series right now. Can we please get Eric Brennan and can we please, or get Rick Allen to be the commentator, please, of these races? Why is Rick Allen not in the booth right now? That guy doesn't have a job currently at the moment as a lead commentator. I cannot fathom and understand why they still got Jamie Little in the booth. It's nonsense to me. Please put them in the booth. And Michael Waltrip shouldn't be there either, in all honesty. And it was just bad direction all night, bad quality. They didn't know what was going on. It just seemed like they were completely lost. I'm not even sure if they were even at the racetrack tonight. It was just nonsensical and just really, really bad. Why is Tom Bodine not in the booth at this point? Can we put him in the booth and see how he actually can do instead of putting Tom Bodine on pit road and maybe, I don't know, have Jamie Little in the pit road selection instead of being the lead commentator, having Eric Brennan in the booth or Rick Allen? That's what we should be doing. I don't know, because we lost Artie Kepner this week, and I was a little worried that Artie Kepner going, we may even get worse than it is, and I'm worried that the production and the quality of the Cup broadcast, especially this Sunday, I think are going to be really, really bad. Just the broadcast tonight was a joke. Like always, nothing new. Fox was really, really bad, and it once again shows that they need a lot of work, and I'm worried about the long term because their broadcasts tonight were just not very good. So overall, like I said, the race wasn't great. We're doing so good with having generally clean Truck Series races, and tonight was just a complete disaster for the Truck Series. One of the worst truck races I've probably ever seen, and it's not shocking and surprising considering it's at Texas Motor Speedway, a track that does not generally put on really good and strong racing. So that is going to be for tonight's NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series race review from Texas Motor Speedway. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, notifications on, so if I win a video, it does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and support me on Patreon as well. Let's go some more of that and comment your thoughts below on today's race. Your thoughts on today's race, let me know below. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and congratulate Corey Heim if you want to on him picking up the win at Texas. Learn your thoughts in the comments below. Hopefully the Xfinity Series race is better tomorrow. We should have the review coming out on that, and I'm hoping the race on Sunday can be a lot better. I will not have a full-scale race review on the channel for that because I will, of course, be working on Sunday doing some stuff that I'm not going to talk about, but then, of course, on Monday, we should have an NASCAR news video dropping. I've got content coming on people like Haley Deegan, Shane Van Gisbergen, Cards, Kurt Busch, Kyle Busch, Dodge, Cletus Farland, Matt Benedetto, Frankie Muniz, Connor Zilish, Eric Almirola, Junior Motorsports, Kyle Larson, and other people in the industry as well, along Bubba Walls, Tyler Reddick, and the lawsuit between 2011 Front Row, and Michael Jordan as well. So anyways, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's episode, and I'll see you guys next time for more great, awesome NASCAR content and other motorsports content on the channel like this. Take care, everybody.